All right, let's get into our next discussion now. Governors of the All Progressives Congress have unanimously agreed to support President Muhammadu Buhari regarding the extension of the tenure of party officials.
Absolutely. Now, the decision followed a second meeting between the president and the governors on Tuesday. President Buhari had met with the APC APC governors, which majority of them had insisted on the tenure elongation for the National Working Committee. Now, a 10-man committee was set up to resolve the issue and submit its reports today.
All the governors, 24 of the APC governors, were on the same page with Mr. President that we're going to respect our party constitution, we're going to respect our constitutional Federal Republic of Nigeria. So therefore, we collectively agree that we will have congresses, all level, ward, local government, state, and national.
The issue of Congress and convention does not mean that the previous people who have served this party have done badly, and does not mean that they cannot come back or they cannot recontest. That is not it, but simply saying that their tenure has ended and those who wish to recontest and can be elected into our party structure. So we are all one as a family, and we are set to go for 2019 election in victory.
All right, with us in the studio is the Director General, Committee for the Protection of People's Mandate, Nelson Ekujumi. Nelson, good morning.
Good morning. It's a pleasure.
Nice to have you join us right now. Now, the drama that played out in some governors and the National Executive Committee saying tenure elongation for the chairman of the APC was desirable and it should be, and all of that, the president came and so on. But now they've gone back to say, okay, we all now agree with the president that there will be tenure elongation. What kind of drama do you think is playing out here?
Well, it tells you clearly the mindset of our politicians, that when an issue is on the ground, what is uppermost in their mind most times is their personal comfort or the interest they are driving, rather than being obedient to the rule of law and the constitution. Because you expect that members of the NEC, even these governors, they are beneficiaries of our democratic mandate. So they should symbolize democracy and rule of law in their conduct and in comments. But what do you have? You find them most times towing towards interest that is at variance with the constitution. And we should commend President Muhammadu Buhari for taking that stand. And for me, it's rather ironic that a former military general is the one whipping supposed Democrats on a path that they are supposed to be accustomed to. It tells you clearly that the vigilance of the Nigerian people needs to be strengthened to ensure that our so-called political leaders do not lead us, do not take us on a path that will be at variance with what the Constitution says. Because whether we like it or not, the Constitution is the Bible of the country. Be you a political party or an individual, if you take any line of action and it runs contrary to the Constitution, it's like taking a walk in the park.
And their stance yesterday even came as a surprise after we heard just on Tuesday that they were divided, kind of. Yeah. So with this latest position the governors have, are you suspicious that even if they hold Congress as a convention, that they could be cooking up something just to ensure that whoever emerges is still their choice?
That is not unlikely in politics. Politics is about interest, but it builds on other stakeholders in the party, and even with the Nigerian public as well, because whether we like it or not, we are practicing party democracy, and it builds on us to keep our eye on it so that they will realize that, look, the political party does not belong to only you or to further your own interest. The political party is for Nigerians, and the purpose of that political party being in existence is for better life for the people through that your vehicle. So it is not unexpected or unlikely that some of them might be cooking up other plans, but it builds on us to ensure that whatever soup you are cooking, it is in tandem with the provisions of the Constitution as well as the provisions of your party rules and regulations.
All right, we've seen political parties in the First and Second Republic And even in the Third Republic, when we had the NRC and the SDP, some sort of ideology, and there was development and all of that. But when we look at the political parties now, do you think they are making contribution to building or deepening the democracy we say we have?
No, it's a far cry from that. And even as at that, you want to even ask, what is the ideology of the individuals making up the parties? Because you don't expect somebody who does not have any ideology, who does not have a thinking of what life should be when he becomes a member of the party, to just, you know, wake up and assume the ideology of the party. Because the party is made up of people with different ideologies. And if somebody, like they say in law, you can't place something on nothing. So if our democracy is being threatened by these undemocratic acts that our politicians have been, you know, driving at, it tells you clearly that a lot of us are guilty of these practices. And that is why the time has come for us to even reflect whether we even understand what is meant by democratic ethos. What is the essence of being in a political party? Because today you see Party A in power, a governor or a functionary of the same party will take a particular line of action, another governor or functionary of the same party will take another. So you want to ask, what is the common manifesto that binds
all of them together?
Because in the Second Republic, like you have just mentioned, you, like in the Southwest where I was born and I grew up, you have the UPN. They had a common free primary education policy across all their states. But is that happening in the present dispensation? This is the dispensation that you have somebody who is in Party A at 7 a.m. now. By 9 a.m. is in Party B. By 12 noon is in Party C. When you are going to bed, so it's back in
politics of convenience.
It's called politics of convenience.
Okay, so what does this speak of the APC really? That it took the president to whip the party back in line. Nigerians complained when the tenure extension was made, but they didn't listen. And some governors supported Don Ojige Oyegun about it. So, as a political party that promised Nigerians democracy, that promised Nigerians a lot of goodies, really, and doing that, what does it tell them about entrenching democratic principles, really? It
tells you clearly, like, you know, we have this Yoruba saying, I'm a Yoruba man, we have this saying that if you keep silent, whatever pain you are going through, you bear it alone. So it tells you clearly that what is happening in either APC or any other party is a reflection of the general malaise in the society, where people know the law, but they are always looking for shortcuts. Because even the constitution of the party, according to Article 17, states very clearly that the executives of the party shall be elected at the maximum of 4 years, renewable. And the Nigerian Constitution, Section 223, also makes it mandatory. So when they embarked on this tenure elongation, and one of the spokespersons on that day was saying Article 13 gave them the power, because Article 13 gives the NEC the power to superintend over the convention. You want to ask, if it gives you the power to act as the convention, you know, organizer, does it give you the power to take over that function or to embark on illegality? I think that is what the president.
But that brings us to a question: are there some groups within the party that are scared of going into that convention?
Definitely. You and I know very well, if you look at the political templates, that a lot of the party in most states have a lot of issues. And that is why they said, oh, instead of us addressing the problem now, let us postpone it for another day. And I don't think that is the right way to solve any problem. Because whether you sleep and you don't solve your problem now, when you wake up, it will be waiting for you at your bedside. So what it has shown you now is that because of their own interests, because they are majorly concerned about their own safety, that is why they have decided to, you know, go against the constitution of the party as well as the constitution of Nigeria. But the office of the president, you know, the president is the leader of the party, whether, you know, we want to admit it or not. And, you know, he wields, you know, enormous powers. And God so good, I think they were not short of legal advice on the implications of whatever they are doing, because you cannot produce something legal from an illegality. And I think reason has prevailed. And, you know, we should commend them and, you know, serve them a note of warning that never again should they go on this path.
Okay. Let's look at how John Ojige Oyegu has been able to, you know, lead the party so far till his tenure expires anyway. Would you say maybe that is why some people are afraid for him, if you think so, for them not to want to go into holding a convention? Because, like you said, there are grift parties, and the national chairman has been accused so many times of favoring some people over others. We still remember how the primary election of the APC, of the governorship election in Ondo State was held, where the delegates that voted were way higher than the actual delegates, really, you understand. Yeah. So would you say because of this different runnings, that is why some are afraid of holding the convention? Well,
you are not far from the truth. The reality on ground is that the APC, we must admit, is a gathering of strange bedfellows. And you expect a party to be able to rein in its members, to be on the same page with even the government. The party should even be able to direct the government, you know, on keeping to its manifesto. You saw it happened just recently in South Africa when the ruling party told the president that, look, this is our stand. But what do you have in Nigeria? It is the other way. You see a party, in fact, the APC as a party, for some of us, is a party with so many drivers, even though you recognize that a car can have only one driver. So, you know, the lack of cohesion in the party is very, very apparent. You expect that, you know, the party will speak with one voice on issues, but the moment the party makes a statement, there are other immediate counter statements coming out. And you want to ask, is this a united or divided party? But, you know, the obvious is there for each and every one of us to see.
All right, there were several moves at reconciling warring factions within the party at different stages and in different states as well. We had issues. In fact, the one in Kogi State is very visible. Kaduna State also has visible issues. River State has visible issues. And then some states like Benue that are aggrieved. You know,
Kano State. The slogan in Kano State is that no reconciliation whatsoever.
Very good. So when you have this kind of acrimony within the party, between stalwarts of the political party, and they expect that some form of reconciliation should take place even before the convention, do you think all this can be achieved before the convention comes?
Well, nothing is impossible in politics. Politics should be about give and take. Democracy is about negotiation, discussion, debates, you know, civilized engagement. So long as the reconciliation is being done with good faith and the ultimate aim of dispensing justice, you know, nothing is impossible. It is not impossible to have people reconcile their differences. But when you are trying to reconcile differences and you want to place somebody of interest A above interest B, even before the party, the other person who is on the lower rung of the ladder will be feeling, you know, marginalized. So it is important that, you know, as the party is going to conduct its convention, its congress now, it's very, very important for them to, you know, rally around and ensure that the ultimate aim of the reconciliation is to give justice to members. That will go a long way, you know, to douse the acrimony in the party.
But how effective would the reconciliation be? Because the man that has been put in charge, talking about the national leader of the party, Shiwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, some believe that some of these people moved against him after the success of the party at the polls in 2015. He did a lot for the party and for the president to win the election, but then there were allegations that he was edged out. Now it's back to reconcile all members of the party. But if all of them do not recognize him as a figure that can do it, yes, many have said that he is capable of uniting all members of the party. But how easy would it be for him before they go into the Congress?
Well, I expect that, you know, like Mr. President has given the national leader that assignment. And, you know, I believe that every member of the party recognizes the position he occupies within that party. So it is now left for the party itself to put in place machinery to ensure.
You know why I said that?
Okay.
Very good you said that. After the appointment, he had a meeting with the national chairman, Odige Oyegun, but you know what Odige Oyegun did a few weeks after that, he had to write an open letter that many Nigerians read about how angry he was with the move the national chairman of the party made. Yes,
it is not unlikely, or it's not something that should not be expected that, you know, in embarking on a course, you have a lot of obstacles on the way. It now behoves on you to rise above that obstacle, to have that large heart, to forgive, you know, in the larger interest because of the collective goal that you are pursuing. So for us now, it is in our collective interest that the party rein in its members, because one of the greatest malice bedeviling our polity is the indiscipline of not only the politicians, even we, the people in the outside the parties, are also guilty of the same. Because you see the way we conduct our affairs, you know, both in our private and public lives, you realize that one of the greatest ills bedeviling our society is indiscipline. And it is also part of indiscipline when somebody has been recognized to perform a function and another person within that same family is openly going against, you know, that move. So it's one that, you know, we must always engage the actors that, look, it should not be about today. It should be about tomorrow. It should be about the future of the party. It should be about the future of the Nigerian people. That is why you are there. So that will go a long way, you know, in making them, you know, maybe change from their ways, you know, to a more amenable path.
All right. As we round off now, let me ask you this one question before we round off. In the build-up to 2015 election in 2014, we saw how divided Nigeria was on so many fronts, on so many lines. In fact, it took the U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry to come, you know, sit all the contestants together, make them sign peace pacts, you know, and all of that. What should we expect this year going forward? Do we have to expect the British Prime Minister or the American Foreign Secretary or the Chinese President to come and make us sign peace pacts?
No. That was an aberration, and, you know, a lot of us condemned it, because that was the first time in our political history that, you know, foreign mediators were coming into Nigeria because of the seemingly volatile situation they expected.
The situation was bad that time.
Yes, it was.
Nigerians had to stock up on food.
And honestly, it was very, very bad, because as at then, even the government of the day was promoting division between religious, you know, institutions. So as we approach 2019, it is now left for us as Nigerians to believe in ourselves, to put our collective interest that, look, God has brought us together. No matter our differences, let us sit down and resolve it. Violence will not get us anywhere. Rather, violence will cause us incalculable damages. So it is not for us to expect people to come and tell us how to, you know, take care of our issues, because we don't go. I'm not aware of any time that Nigeria has been invited to go and mediate before elections so that people can have peaceful elections. It is not left for the institutions of state as well as non-state actors to engage in mobilizing the people to know that, look, the paramount interest for you should be the peace, safety and prosperity of Nigerians.
And of course, ultimately, power resides with the people.
Yeah,
Nelson Ekujimi, the DG Committee for the Protection of People's Mandate. Thank you very much for your analysis at this time.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Right. Up next will be a discussion on entrepreneurs, raising entrepreneurs in Nigeria. And a lot of them are about to come up. They have been coming up, but a lot will still come up again. Stay with us on TVC Breakfast.